Imagine this. The man who signs your paychecks, who struts around the office like he owns your soul, just tried to sleep with your fiancée, and when she turned him down, he destroyed her career. But what he didn't know was that I was about to destroy his entire life, one secret at a time.
If you've ever dreamed of serving justice to someone who abused their power, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for one of the most jaw-dropping revenge stories you'll hear all year. Because sometimes karma needs a little help, and I was more than happy to deliver. Let me take you back a few years. I was working for a mid-sized company, the kind where everyone knows everyone's business and the office politics are thicker than the coffee. My boss, let's call him Rick, was the kind of guy who made you want to check your phone for job listings every Monday morning. Rick was a textbook type A. Loud, controlling, always needing to be the center of attention. He'd bark orders, micromanage every detail, and treat the office like his personal playground. But what made him truly dangerous wasn't just his ego, it was his complete lack of boundaries. He was married to another employee, but that didn't stop him from chasing anything in a skirt. He had this sick hobby. He'd take photos of himself with his conquests, sometimes even in the act, and then brag about it to the guys on the production floor. He'd show off these photos like they were trophies, never caring about the lives he was wrecking. Now, here's where it gets personal. I'd started seeing a woman who worked at one of our company's other offices. It was a long-distance thing, but it was real. She was smart, funny, and had this way of making even the worst days feel lighter. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I had something good going. Of course, Rick found out. He always found out. He made it his business to know everything about everyone. And when he learned I was dating someone from another branch, he started making jokes, dropping hints, and generally being a creep about it. But I brushed it off until the day he scheduled a business trip to her office. I'll never forget the call I got that night. My girlfriend, voice shaking, barely holding it together, told me what happened. Rick had cornered her after hours, tried to charm his way into her hotel room, and when she told him to get lost, he turned cold. The next morning, she was called into HR and fired on the spot. No explanation, no warning, just gone. I was furious. No, furious doesn't even begin to cover it. I felt powerless, humiliated, and worst of all, responsible. I kept replaying the conversation in my head, wishing I could have protected her, wishing I could have done something, but Rick was untouchable. He controlled everything, or so he thought. For weeks, I watched Rick strut around the office, acting like nothing happened. He'd laugh with his buddies, make snide comments about loyalty and knowing your place. Every time I saw him, my blood boiled. I wanted to scream, to punch a wall, to do something, anything to make him pay. But I knew I had to be smart. Rick was careful. He never left evidence, never put anything in writing. But there was one thing he couldn't resist: his trophies. Those photos. He never kept them at home. His wife was sharp, and he knew she'd find them. So he kept them locked away in his office, hiding in a drawer he thought no one would ever check. I started watching, waiting. I volunteered for overtime, came in on weekends, always keeping an eye on Rick's office. I learned the cleaning crew's schedule, figured out when the building would be empty. I waited for the perfect moment. And then one Saturday, it happened. I was working late. The cleaning lady came through, and as she unlocked Rick's office, I slipped in behind her. I acted casual, like I was just grabbing some blueprints. She barely glanced at me, just asked me to close the door when I was done. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might give me away. My hands were shaking as I rifled through his desk, searching for the stash. And then I found it. In the back of the bottom drawer, a stack of photos at least 4 inches thick. Dozens, maybe hundreds of Rick's conquests, proof of every disgusting thing he'd done. I took them all. I didn't act right away. I knew I had to be careful. Rick was paranoid, and if he suspected anything, he'd make my life hell. So I waited. I watched. I let him think he was still in control. And then, a few weeks later, Rick went on another business trip. This time, I was ready. I picked out a dozen of the worst photos, ones that showed Rick's face clear as day with 4 different women, none of his wife, all of them with dark or red hair. His wife was a blonde, and I wanted there to be no doubt. I drove to the town where Rick lived, found the closest post office to his house, and mailed the photos in a plain envelope. No return address, no note. Just the truth, delivered straight to the one person who deserved to know. The next few weeks were chaos. Rick came back from his trip looking like he hadn't slept in days. His wife stopped coming to work. Rumors started flying, whispers in the break room, sideways glances in the hallways. And then one day, Rick was just gone. Just gone. Word got out that his wife had filed for a divorce. Her lawyer took him to the cleaners. He lost the house, the cars, everything. The women in the photos came forward, and suddenly, Rick wasn't just a creep. He was a pariah. No one wanted anything to do with him. And my girlfriend? She's my wife now. We built a life together, free from Rick's shadow. We're not angry anymore. We're just free. I'll never forget the look on Rick's face the last time I saw him. He was a shell of the man he used to be, haunted, broken, desperate. All that swagger, all that arrogance, gone in an instant. He'd spent years controlling everyone around him, thinking he was untouchable. But in the end, it was his own secrets that destroyed him. And me? I finally felt at peace. I'd stood up for the woman I loved. I'd taken back my power. And I'd shown Rick and everyone else that sometimes the good guys do win. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed. And of course, subscribe for more stories like this, because around here, karma isn't just a concept, it's a promise.